Hello, hello, hello. Another Donger deck discussion with your host from the Dongers of Runeterra, Sith Holocron, and today's deck I am going to show the differences between how people make decks. So on your screen right now is a deck made by Swim. This is on Mobalytics, so there we go. This is Ashe Riven, created by Swimstream. 3 Rivens, and he starts with a 2 cost in the Rune Reavers, Glory Seekers, Trappers, Bjergs, Hearthguard, Assessor, and Farron, Brittle Steel, Elixir of Iron, Troll Chant, Culling Strike, Flash Freeze, and Harsh Winds. So that is his deck. A lot of people, because it's a Swim deck, I have done it myself to test decks out, and then I try and make them better. So, can I make an Ashe Riven deck better than Swimstream? Because what you got to remember is all streamers, whether it's Alan, or Fresh Lobster, or BBG, or Swim, or whomever it happens to be. And those are just ones off the top of my head. There are tons more. Like Manu, and there's loads. Absolutely loads. So this was his thing, and he went, a friend of mine on the Dongers of Runeterra Discord said, right, fix this. It's good, but it's not perfect. And I went, okay, I can do that. So I am now going to go that side and show you my deck of Ashe Riven. And here we go. So, number one, I'm going to do this. And I really want Riven in here because I think Riven is class. So let's put that in, do that. And I've started with 2 Omen Hawks, because why would you not want a couple of Omen Hawks in a Freljord thing? Doesn't need the 3, because Riven has got a very specific thing that she needs to do, which is create stuff to do other things with. So Omen Hawk goes in there, definitely. Riven, if you don't know what she does, every time you get the attack token, you can reforge. You get the Blade of the Exile. So the Blade of the Exile is this. Once you get that, even if you get it in hand, when you can get Overwhelm, Quick Attack, and +2 all at the same time, she levels and becomes this. When you gain the Reforge token, Reforge. When you get the attack token, and my powers increase for the first time each round, increase it by twice as much. So she can get very scary very quick. So if she's not in your opening hand, well then she's already a 4/5 the minute you drop down an Open Hawk. Icefield Archer is probably my favorite 2-drop in Freljord, so we're using 3 of these. I think the 3 of these are far better than this. And if we go up here, we're not actually using that many spells, and we're truly not. This is more control. I mean, like Swim's is control, very mid-range. Mine just takes things out of the equation, because we need to level Ashe, and that's pretty good, really. So an awful lot of people have been putting Riven with something like Katarina, which is an excellent deck that I may visit at some stage, or Garen, or Lucian, because they all gain Rally, which gives Riven the attack token. So those are probably her 3 most let's get you rallied, let's get you reforging decks. But if you don't want to be playing it like that, this is probably the way to play it. And Swims and mine are, well, different. I'm only running 2 Rune Weavers. He's running 3, because when I'm summoned, you reforge, and neither of us have went for Blade Squire, because it's a crap unit, and it has to die for you to reforge, and that's not great. So we're not doing it. We're not doing that at all. So 2 Rune Weavers, 3/1, so it's exactly the same stats as the Icefield Archer. They both give you a, when it's summoned, you reforge. When you play it, you frostbite an enemy. Frostbiting helping level Ashe. Rune Weaver reforging helping Riven. So we're in a good thing. Remember, if once you've created frostbitten 5 enemies, you get a crystal arrow on the top of your deck, which is this monstrous thing. Frostbite an enemy and all other enemies with 3 or less health and draw 1. That is pretty damn special. That's pretty good. And then we went slightly different. I think that we both went for 3s of this, because it fits. Trifarian Glory Seeker, Can't block, but hits for 5-1, so goodbye to champions. I would leave this until much later rounds. A lot of people were playing this really early and not getting maximum value out of what she has. For 2 mana to get a 5-1 instead of a 3-1 or a 3-1, that's brilliant. And Challenger, she's fantastic. You just leave her there, just like anything else that can't block, and then take out a brilliant thing at the end. You can also keep all these guys alive with that 3 troll chance, which Swim also has 3 troll chance because it's too good a card, and why the hell would you not have 3? So that's knock an attacker down by 2 power, and you get 2 extra health, which will normally ruin people's entire agenda. Another thing that I've went with Swim, and what you got to remember is most deck builders will use very similar cards for the exact same reason. I'm using Omen Hawk over other cards because I think it works better. Okay? I know for a fact that Swim is running Babbling Bjerg to bring something out that costs 5 or more. I'm not running that either. So he wants his deck to run in a certain way, and I want my deck to run in a similar way, but in a different way. But Troll Chant's great. We're also running 3 Avazorn Trappers. Now, this is brilliant. You get a 1-cost 5/5 Yeti. That is fantastic. And you get them in the top 3 cards of your deck. And again, as I said, Swim is running 3 of those as well. And then I believe he was running 3 Bjergs. And the Bjergs will summon a unit with 5+ power, which is essentially Ashe. Which is okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I agree that that's a good thing to do. Much as I agree with running 3 Culling Strikes, as he is also running 3 Culling Strikes, and this is where your control package starts coming in. But his is much more mid-range, so he's kind of playing it a bit like Demacia, where you want to play a unit on 1 and on 2 and on 3. Well, I'm kind of going, well, I've got units out that I want to keep alive. Let's keep them all going, and let's see how we get on. But we've both went for the same ending. So it's just, they're slightly different decks. You can get his off Mobilytics. You can get mine in the pinned comments underneath, which is pretty cool and groovy. And I also now put the hashtag. So if you're playing on mobile, you can just play it straight away. Culling Strike, amazing. 3 or less power, just kill it, which is fantastic. Because, you know, even if you look at all these, there's Riven dead, Katarina dead, Draven dead, Braum dead, Swine dead. And that's just the ones from Freljord and Noxus, and those are all champions. So a good thing to take out a champion with, depending on who you're playing against, which is why we're running 3. Obviously, if we're running Ashe and we need to frostbite 5 people, then, you know, Flash Freeze has to be a 3. And much as I'm pained to admit it, I'm running 1 more than Swim is, because I'm using the freezes and the spells to keep units alive and to frostbite, while he's sort of using them as little things to kind of maybe block off one thing. So there's differences in all decks depending on who builds them, which is the wonderful thing about card games. He thinks his is the best version of this. I think this is the best version of this. So the only way to find out would be fight. So Swim, if you're out there, I'll play yours against you, play mine. We'll play a quick best of 3, and off we can go, because we're starting to get a lot of traction over here in Europe. And I'm going to take Fresh Lobster in my team if you want to start doing a team thing, because he's pretty cool too. So yeah, I'm running 3 of these. He's running 2. Now, here is where mine's like slightly different, because I'm only running 2 Rivens. Now, what the hell are you doing? In an Ashe Riven deck, it's got to be 3 each, right? Well, I like Riven, but I have another champion as well. I'm running 3 champions. Now, is this technically an Ashe Riven deck? Well, yes, because we're running 3 Ashes, we're running 2 Rivens. But Ashe has always went well with Svajani. So, mine from here on down is completely different. Okay, completely different. Because I want to be hitting the Nexus a lot, which is why I'm keeping my units alive. Ashe will probably level very quickly to remove board states. And remember, every time you attack, you frostbite the strongest enemy, which is all kind of fantastic. Okay? So, 2 Rivens. And then we can sort of, we're not really running spells to increase her at all. So Riven is in here as misdirection. While Swim's version is much, much more based around reforging and keeping things alive and mid-range. Mine's not, because I have multiple win conditions. So if one isn't going well or you don't have it in hand, you can go to plan B or plan C. And I like the fact that this deck has got Freljord and Noxus to be able to take whatever cards that you have in hand and not feel disadvantaged. And I think in a card game, that's incredibly, incredibly consistent, because it gives you more opportunities to win and less to lose. So 3 Ashes, because that's what we want. Swim has 3 of these. I have 1. But then I also have an Ashe that costs 5, a Kato the Arm, the Hearth Guards, a Swajani, and a Farron. Now, why am I not running 3 of them? That's because I wanted to run all of those, which Swim doesn't. Swim is running Hearthguards, Assessor, and 1 Farron. And now let me show you my version. So let us get down here and we'll go backwards. I'm running 2 Farrons. The fact that you can get 3 Decimates at the end turns this into the ultimate face burn deck in the world. You get 2, he's an 8/8, he's well statted, and everything is well good. Swajani here is a 5/6, does really, really well. When you drop him, you frostbite an enemy, that helps level up. Ashe, of which we've got 3, is the biggest champion. Frostbite, vulnerable, the whole shebang. Once you've done that, then, well, pretty much Swajani goes into like complete madness, and you frostbite everything the first time that you do any damage to the Nexus. 1 Reckoning, so if you have a 5+ power ally, of which we have tons, you kill all units with 4 or less power. 2 Harsh Winds to frostbite 2 enemies to supplement Ashe. And Trifarian Assessor, that has been, in the last couple of months, slightly nerfed, but you still get to draw a card for each 5+ power ally you have. Once you get a couple of them out, that's when you need to put Trifarian Assessor down. Speaking of 5+, there is the thing that grants every single person in your deck 1/1. I went for 2, Swim went for 3, because I went for Kato the Arm, for which he went for 0. I get to give my supported ally +3 and overwhelm this round. So I have got a toolbox kit of stuff to do. This is my version of Ashe Riven with Swajani. Pick up Swim's deck code from Mobalytics. Pick up mine from underneath this video. Thank you very much for watching. I am Seth Holocron. Like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more brilliant decks like this and comparisons. Thank you so much. And until the next one, Dongers out.